Hello, hey, everyone. It is Sunday evening in the UK, and good grief, we've got lots of people.
Hello, hey, everyone.
Keeps doing that. It's the editing. So please do tell us in the chat where we're from. I'm seeing some lovely familiar faces. Mystic Mimi, Susie, Bobby, and the lovely Andrea, who helps me keep everyone under control. Deborah, thank you for those who've already sent love and light to Skelfer, who is on a timeout at the moment to go and calm down a bit. So how is everyone, and what are we all feeling happy and grateful for today? I can't lie, this week it's been a challenge at times, sometimes this week. Oh, hello, everyone. It's so lovely to see you. I will keep saying hello as I go through. Maryland, that's where my daughter is, in Maryland, Rob. Yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge for me this week, sometimes this week, because, wow, hasn't it been an up and down week? Please do tell us in the chat how you've been getting on and how you've been coping with this week. There's some people from America who's got some big news to us. So if you've got some big news that you've been seeing coming out, please do tell us in the chat, because we all need some really good news this week. Now, a couple of housekeeping things before I start. I know you've heard this from everyone who's still on YouTube, but there are a lot of scammers on YouTube at the moment. Under my video, I cannot keep up with it. There's someone that creates a false account and then puts the same message, I have something to tell you, a WhatsApp number, and then asks for money. Is obviously not me. I would never put my number under the video. The only links I share are from the ones that are under my videos, and then sort of Andrew, I will sometimes post various links in the chat, but I will never put my WhatsApp number. I will never ask for consults like that. I will never ask for money. I know that Janine's been having the same problem. I know that Jean-Claude's been having the same problem. We all are. It's these bots. I don't know how they do it. Too technical for me, but it's impossible to keep track and delete them. So I know you won't fall for it, but I'd feel terrible if anyone did. So when there's a fake Catherine Edwards, you can tell, because when you click on the comment, it will take you to their YouTube channel and it will say no subscribers. And however many times I block them, they just set up another one and do it again. So we're just going to have to put up with it. So a huge, what have I been grateful for this week? Well, it was my son's graduation on Friday, and it was really lovely. And I know there's a lot of people at the moment talking about universities being taken over by the deep state. There's a lot of people talking about, oh, it's all the educated people who don't know what's going on. It's not true. It's a cross section. And, you know, our children are going through enough difficulties at the moment, and he's worked really hard, and I'm really proud of him. And it was a lovely opportunity to spend with my mum, his other grandparents, and it was just fantastic. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful that it's been sunny today, so my guinea pigs are still out on the lawn outside. And if I'm ever feeling down, trust me, if I go and thank you for the congratulations, everyone. That's lovely. If I go and I'm feeling a bit down, all I've got to do is go and look at one of the guinea pigs, and suddenly everything's all right again, because they are the most loving, beautiful little creatures everywhere. So in terms of what's happening, I know that the election results have been out. I wrote the A word. The bots on YouTube pick it all up. I have heard a lot of videos that have been forwarded. I haven't watched them all, but it's been amazing, the results. Of course, oh, hello, Debbie's from where we're talking about. It's very, you know, important that we don't get lured into being depressed by watching the mainstream media, because we know they're not reporting it yet. And I think everyone on this chat is really amazing in terms of actually, you know, finding their own information, which I'm going to come. So share those good things, because we all need this good news. And it's really important to keep our spirits uplifted. Now, it is coming out. There are some great things coming out. But we do need to share for them because there's still stuff that we need to search for. So I would encourage everyone to share all the good news. If you've got good news that you've been sharing, feel free to put it in the chat. And keep searching for it because it will come out. I'm 100% confident. It seems completely, very clear cut how corrupt it was. But of course, the mainstream media are still doing their best to hide it. When the hell are they going to get taken down? Seriously, perhaps we can all put some energy into taking these mainstream media down because all our lives will change as soon as it does. That is fantastic. Thank you, William, for putting, and the rest of you that have been putting the dates in there. So it's absolutely amazing. Now, I would like to encourage everyone to please join my Telegram channel because, oh, look, there's a lovely, let's all send Skeffler some nice love again because she thinks we're all grifting lunatics. I am a lunatic, actually. I'm quite proud to be a lunatic. Yeah, I'm quite pleased to not be part of the norm at the moment. So I don't take that as an insult. But yeah, so please join my Telegram channel and please also join my BitChute. This isn't self-promotion. It's because all my censored videos are on BitChute. So this week we went to, I spoke to the amazing John O'Looney, the funeral director that I'm sure you've all seen his videos. What an amazing man, really putting everything on the table for us all to share. And it's important because everyone resonates with a different message. So getting people out. Good. There's a few other lunatics joining me. Yay. Hi, fellow lunatics. We love being mad together. Yeah, I've been called a lunatic and quite frankly, a lot worse. So it's not going to upset me. So I think having people like John Looney, the funeral director, put his message out, having Andreas Kalka, Dr. Andreas Kalka, talk about CDS, which I'm going to come on to in a minute, having Dr. Robert O. Young talk about all the things he knows. We all need to just really look on the alternative channels, as I'm sure you do, for these information, because it's so important. And if some things, they don't all resonate with us, if we're feeling a bit down, then John's message might make us feel a bit mad. But what these people are doing is they're desperately trying to get the message across, not to people like us who are already aware. There's no one on watching today that isn't already aware of what's going on, but we've all got loved ones that aren't, and it's so challenging for us. I mean, I feel for everyone because we are all going through our own individual battles at the moment, or individual stories, or whatever we want to call it, and we're all going to have up and down weeks. And this is where it's fantastic to see everyone that's supporting each other. Susie's saying a report on Telegram about the children being saved. That's absolutely amazing. Let's hope it is. Denmark, we had some stuff about Denmark, visionary endeavours by Susan. Let us know what's happening in Denmark, because there's a lot of stories going about that all the regulations of the what regulations have been dropped in these certain countries, and then when you speak to people in the countries, that's not the case. So I think it's very difficult for us to discern at the moment what's true and what's not. And what I'm noticing, and what a lot of my friends have been noticing, is these last couple of weeks, everyone seems to be on a very short fuse. And I will put my hand up to say me included, because I've found a lot of the stuff quite overwhelming over the last couple of weeks. And so I think the people who are watching this, and such a wonderful community and so supportive. Yes, Christine, I'll come on to the cold. I have. I think it's really important that we keep trying to behave in a way that we're proud of, and having empathy for the stresses that other people are going through. Because quite frankly, what I'm not seeing is a lot of empathy or understanding from people still after all this time. I just think it's really sad that people are not understanding that everyone's in a different situation, and to have a little bit of empathy for the different things that everyone's going through. So, parents are going through one things, people whose parents are making different decisions going something else. People are going through health challenges, people's animals are going through different challenges. Yes, you're right. Those of us who are going, who was that about the declining light? Rose, about the declining light can cause some anxiety. It has a big effect on us, the lack of sunlight, these shorter days and everything. We're all in different areas of the world. So I think we just really need to have as much empathy as we can, and before reacting, as much as possible, to try and see things from other people's point of view, because we don't know what stresses they've had to face that day or what stresses in their life. I've got a lady who's probably going to be coming on and doing a brief live with me this week, because she's in a terrible situation through no sort of fault of her own. I'll get her to explain it sometime this week and get on a live with her. And when you hear it's just really important to realise that some people are in really difficult situations through no fault of their own. So I'm going to get her on an impromptu live as soon as we can arrange that this week, and she can explain her story herself, and you can see who is going to, if we can help her at all as a community. So I've mentioned Telegram, BitChute and my website. Now, this is where I'm going to have a little bit of a moan at people. Let me share the screen. Tell me if you can see there. Right. So on this share screen is my website, the Catherine Edwards .life. And on my website, I've got various different tabs, but one of them is the health products tab. And on the health products, there are a series of resources that I support, and I'm just going to explain them a bit to you. Now, none of these are my shops. None of them are my shops. And they're products that I use or services that I use myself. So sorry, my computer keeps literally, if I suddenly disappear, it's because my computer keeps playing up. So I hope I don't suddenly disappear. So what I wanted to say is that if you've got a question, please go to my website first, www.catherineedwards.life, or my BitChute channel first before asking me, because I'm getting so many people asking me really sort of basic questions about, like, where do I buy the CDS from? And it's all there on my website. But one thing I've said completely, every single video I say to you, now we are still in a very corrupt world that is ruled by lots of unscrupulous companies, part of which are the pharmaceutical companies. It is illegal. If you buy this kit to make the CDS, chlorine dioxide solution is different to chlorine dioxide. This is a water purification kit that anyone can buy to purify their water. But this will not tell you, there will be no instruction unit telling you how to take it for anything other than water purification. You need to do this introductory course to tell you how to do that, because it's illegal for the people that tell you this, sell this, to tell you how to use it for health beneficial purposes, because then it's counted as a pharmaceutical product and it would have to be licensed. So please don't expect anyone selling these health products to give you detailed instructions about how to make it and how to use it. And don't expect the courses to actually be selling the products. So I hope that explains, but please do have a look at these pages first before answering me, and go through and check the information that's on there, because most of the information that they've been asking is on there. I'm really happy to answer questions once you have done some of your basic research, but I'm not here as a free encyclopedia to ask every basic question when you haven't made any effort to try and find the answer out yourself. So that is my moan. I really want to see that you've actually done a bit of effort to find the answer yourself, and you haven't, absolutely contact me, because there's nothing on this page that I don't use myself. I only put stuff on there that I use myself. However, I can't answer hundreds of different questions a day about stuff that you can easily find by educating yourself. So I think this is the time nowadays to really educate yourself on how to keep yourself healthy, because we are being bombarded by chemtrails in the sky. Now, I don't know what it's like for those of you elsewhere, but in the UK, wow, how bad have the chemtrails been this last month? Off the scale bad, horrendous. In terms of the food that we're being fed, the water that we're being given, the propaganda, the EMF, the 5 and then the letter after F word, etc. So we're all being bombarded all the time. And thank you so much to ask, Mystic Mimic. My animals, touch wood, are really good at the moment. I do have a lot of very old animals and some rescue animals which have got some quite special needs, and they're doing brilliantly. But I do have to keep on top of stuff. So I certainly noticed a difference in my horses when the chemtrails have been over, because of course they're absorbing all that pollution is on their grass and everything. So it's really awful. And those of you who listen to the series with the amazing vet, Dr. Timo, on Tuesdays that we're doing the pet health series, we've had brilliant feedback from the dog and cat nutrition videos. No, Charlotte, I don't. Well, can you get it from the chemtrails? You get lots of other things. What they're doing is if you put poisons into the air that you're breathing in, this is a lot of these products to counteract what they're actually putting into us and we can't control. So even if you buy organic, even if you live in the countryside like I do, there's still things that we actually need to deal with. And therefore it's sensible for us and our pets to take some extra precautions. And I know a lot of you are doing that. So this is why I've got a health series with Andy Mills. I've got a health series with Timo. I've just done the one with Clayton from Roots. I love those products at the moment. And I've got more coming on. So as I found out new things that I personally be sharing them with you. Of course, not everyone can afford them, which is why I'm sharing some products which give you the opportunity to make your own income from those as well. So you'll have other things as well. And so it's just really important. All I'm doing is sharing what works for me, and people will do their own research and decide what resonates with them and what doesn't. It's really important. So on note, I've had so many questions this week about gold and silver. You'll hear people like Jean-Claude, you'll hear, you know, a lot of the people who are sharing it sort of saying, look, it's in their opinion. I'm not a financial person. Anyone who runs an animal rescue home is not necessarily experienced in finances at all. So I am not all, you know, I do anything. If I do have extra, I buy silver at the moment with it. But in terms of, you know, we've got links under the videos for the people that myself and my friends use for their gold and silver. There's a code you have to put in that if you buy over £250, you get, this is in the UK, then you get a free silver coin, but you have to put that code in when you register. There's other people sharing it. I think all I would say is just everyone is just saying, sharing what works for them. And, you know, if it resonates, you do it. But if you haven't got any extra money to do it, don't worry, because I think the communities we're creating here is we're all going to be looking after each other. And that's a really strong message that I want to send out to people. Please don't feel, oh my goodness, it's all right for everyone else, I can't do that. Some of the solutions I suggest are expensive, some of them won't. Deborah, don't have loads of money to use. There's a lot of people that don't have loads of money. You can start literally with one coin. Great thing to give to children, as investments and everything. So I would just say have a look at it, but don't worry if not. You know, really don't worry if not. So yeah, pet questions, I will be covering those on Tuesday. So I've got a live on Tuesday afternoon, 5 o'clock UK, with Dr. Timo, the brilliant vet. We'll be doing frequently asked questions, so we'll be covering as much as we can in there. Obviously, we cannot answer serious medical queries on a live show. It would be completely irresponsible of us, because we'd need to know nutrition, lifestyle, chemicals used, medication, but the general basic ones. So please do watch out for those, and we've already done a lot of good information on those. And what I would say is, if you've got any dogs or cats, and there's some horse courses on my website as well. You can see scrolling on the bottom my 2 different websites. Please do then have a look at the courses and everything. So that's really, really important. So yeah, educating ourselves is so important. On my BitChute channel, I say, as I said, I've got the John and Looney one, which might be good for some people that don't really respond to some of the other videos that have been around. If you've got family and friends that want a different perspective, I mean, what could be more real than a funeral? Director's thing. Talk to your pets telepathically. Absolutely, they really can understand. I'm going to come on to that in a minute, actually. So do as much at this time to sort of educating ourselves, because all the different people are doing is we're all just sharing information that works for us, and some of it will resonate with you in some way, because we're all in completely different situations and we're all in different circumstances. We're all at different levels of awareness, etc. We're even two towns an hour apart can be experiencing completely different challenges. I mean, look at what's happening in Australia at the moment. So go and look at the videos on BitChute, because I can honestly say the Andreas Kalka, the Robert O. Young ones, the John O'Looney ones, I think they're ones that everyone should listen to, because they're so important, and I cannot put those here. They're also on my website, catherineedwards.live. Look after our animals at this time. They're completely dependent on us. They will be picking up on our stress, and we can't help that because we're all going through challenges. So we don't want to block out the stress. We want to work through it, get people to support us through it. But bearing in mind our animals are reliant on us. So the more we can educate ourselves onto what their needs are, not what we think their needs are, because quite often we're looking at it. Diet is a classic thing. Honestly, I cannot tell you how many people think they're feeding their pets a good diet, and then when they educate themselves, they realize that they really are not. So please do educate yourself as much as possible, and then ask questions, because it's really important, because our animals are 100% dependent on us. In terms of what I've got coming up this week, tomorrow night I've got my next chat with Jean-Claude from Beyond Mystic 3. I love Jean-Claude. He's a really genuine person. He's very well informed about a lot of different areas. If people have got are into cryptocurrencies and gold and silver, he's got a lot of good videos on his as well. Sorry, I'll cover this in a minute. I'll come back to that soon. And so I've got Jean-Claude on Monday night, 6 o'clock UK time. The lives are us doing that. Really looking forward to that. I love speaking to him, find it really positive. Then I've got the lovely Timo, the vet, on Tuesday, 5 o'clock UK time, alive. And then the lovely Janine on Wednesday. And then I will be picking another live with this poor lady that really needs our support sometime this week. So I'll let you on there. So in terms of when you use the MMS, do you use the gas the way that Andreas does, or the drops? I use the gas. I do not use MMS. I use the CDS. It's very different. It's as Andreas said, CDS is a bit like the granddaughter to MMS. It's much gentler on the system. So personally, I use that. But obviously, they're both really good. I think the CDS, for people that are new to it, is gentler and easy introduction. This question here, the white hats neutralizing the chemtrails. I've asked Janine that question several times. It is a good question. I think it depends. Janine sort of said, sometimes yes, sometimes no, but I'm certainly not going to rely on that. I'm not putting my health in anyone else's hands but myself. I personally am going to take responsibility for my own health. I educate myself. I spend a huge amount of time researching, and therefore I'm going to not rely on a hope and a prayer that they are neutralizing them, because certainly I know a lot of people who've been feeling very ill with them. By the way, my smoke here is my sage incense. So everyone always comments about spirits going around. And if you see smoke, it is my incense, I promise. Eloise, as an empath, I feel so empty sometimes because all of this has dragged on for so long. That's why we have momentary lack of understanding, compassion. I'm 100% with you there. We're all completely entitled to feel drained by this. Imagine what factory farmed animals have felt for years. Imagine what our dogs and cats that we've been taught to take them along for annual vaccination, shove chemicals on their necks, down their throats, lock up for long periods of the day on their own, feed them crap processed food. Isn't it interesting? We are now having a taste of what human as a species, I'm not saying the individuals on this chat, but humans and the species, it's really, really important to realize that actually we have been doing this a lot of times to other species. Not saying you as an individual, I'm saying as a species, humans. So we're looking at what's being done to them now and how it's been done to us. So yeah. Jennifer, I'm trying to buy the Roots product now. What do we say and refer by? The link is all on my health products at the website. You say Catherine Edwards. You can't buy it without that referral code. So you say Catherine Edwards. If in any doubt, it should automatically fill that in if you go through the link on my website. But if not, if you type Catherine Edwards and then space and enter, it should come up as that. I do notice you do have to press space and enter, I think, afterwards. I think they probably set it up wrong. But let me know whether that works, Jennifer. Now, this is a really good question from Rose. I've been wondering this a lot, Rose. Why have we abdicated our responsibility for our health to a bunch of strangers who don't really care about us? I agree. Do you think? I don't know. I suppose we've all got so used to I think we've got so used to being so busy. We've literally we've been led to leave lifestyles where often both parents, if you're a family environment and you've got two parents around, both parents have to go out to work just to pay the bills. Everyone's stressed. We're stressed because we're being fed fake food, contaminated water, dirty air, electromagnetic radiation, stress. And I think the problem is I think a lot of people, I mean, I'm sure there's loads of different ways, but I find this fascinating. I think Telegram, this brilliant set of questions, brilliant set of questions that you can ask to people, because we have responsibility. And at the end of the day, it comes back to us to educate ourselves. Jennifer, send me an email and I'll send you the link. Andrew's just put the link. I've had a couple of people use it today and it has worked, but just try putting Catherine Edwards, all one word, no space in the middle, space afterwards and enter, or try it without the space and see. If not, try going through the link on my website. It's really, really annoying. I don't know why it's working sometimes and not others. So sorry, I can't do that. It's very, very powerful healers. And we are now getting back to the thing that realizing all the things that we've actually been taught to mistrust are probably the most important things we should have trusted. And I'm loving the fact that people are starting to really question it now, and certainly everyone on this chat is. And I agree with that 100%, Mark. No one is an idiot unless you knowingly repeat the same mistake. That's so true. There's no such thing as a stupid question. We're all waking up all the time. I can remember when I was a teenager and I was lucky enough to get my first rescue horse. And I followed the vet's advice and fed it this crap food. And I look back now and I think, what was I thinking? But at the time, as a 16-year-old, I thought I should do what the vet told me. And then when I knew better, I did better. So a few people saying the live has gone. I think that might be your internet. So I think, really making sure that we are really, really, taking responsibility, keep educating ourselves, but also there's a lot of bad advice out there at the moment. people. I think it's really, really important. Diverticulosis, there's lots of causes of that, but you're going to look at your microbiome, and probiotics are not the answer at all. So I would be saying a good, gentle detox. Look at some of the health videos I've done for that, PG. It's a horrible condition to have. It's really important. Jenny, she will eat meat. It's just slowly. In all our training courses and our videos, we give you transition. All of mine are rescue. And of course, the rescue centres do the best they can, but they can only afford to feed them whatever they can get hold of. So often they come addicted to biscuits. You will transition. It just takes patience and time and knowledge. So we cover that in detail in the cat course, but also if you look back at the nutrition ones, we give you some really good tips. Please persevere. Animal questions, please ask these on the Timo chat, but there's a really, really good website called The Vital Animal. If you look up The Vital Animal, it's a really amazing ex-holistic vet that gives a lot of advice. He's got a free rabies course. He's absolutely brilliant. So please look him up. So empathy, trying to keep educating ourselves. What I always say is try and get out, or try and look for the answers yourself before asking someone else. So personally, I think we've got to get out of this mindset of quickly asking someone else. And most of the Facebook groups, for example, on health, is literally the blind leading the blind. I mean, I've had to leave all the I've had to leave all the ones that are on pets, because they're so incompetent. The advice that's been given, it's awful. I didn't see what's happened to Rose, but I didn't see what had happened there. I know lots of people are saying something's happened, but yeah, a lot of doctors unfortunately are incompetent, and that's why I think when you realize that we can heal most of the stuff ourselves. Rose, I didn't see what the original thing is. But I'm really sorry, and looks like you're getting lots of support there. But I think this is where we've come to a stage where we've, as a society, we've sort of been sitting there where we just think if we can say someone else told us to do something, or advice came from a teacher or a doctor, whatever, it takes away us having to take responsibility. And at the end of the day, we've got to take responsibility and not blame it on someone else. So individual health problems, sorry, PJ, it's difficult to actually do this, but probiotics really, really, really not good at all. Yes, absolutely. The CDS would be a really good place to start and really look at your diet. So, I'm so sorry about that, Rose. That's absolutely horrendous. So if we can all take the action to sort of say, I don't know it now, but I'm going to find out, and then share that good information. But I equally think it's really damaging to share health advice when you don't really know what you're talking about. That's why when a lot of these questions come up, I always say it depends, because I can't say what's causing your dog scratching or what's causing a condition you've got without asking a lot of questions, because I need to know what your diet's like, what your stress levels are like, what environment you're living in, whether it's contaminated by pesticides and herbicides, what medication you're doing. And if I gave advice without some of that, I could actually do more harm than good. So yeah, I think, yes, it does keep burning very well, my sage. It's lovely. So I think we all share the information. Everyone on this chat is so good at sharing information. And I think what we want to do is share the good sites, share the good videos, support the people that are keeping up Uplifted, because it really is, however much we're going through, we can choose to how we react to things. We can't always choose what happens to us, but we can choose our reaction. And I think I mentioned last week, I've been listening to a lot of Joe Dispenza again, a lot of Wayne Dyer, because I've actually stepped, I've got no one else to blame but myself. Unfortunately, open-minded tarot, EMS is awful. There's no such thing as a good kibble or a good biscuit. No such thing. So yeah. yeah, so I think unfortunately it's hard but true. We've come to a realization now that they've been trying to kill us and our pets with processed food. And isn't it clever when you look at what they're trying to do us as our humans? They've been microchipping animals, they've been annually vaccinating them, they've been pumping chemicals down them, and the life expectancy of our dogs and cats and horses has gone down so dramatically over the last 100 years. But what they've been doing, they've been telling you to feed your animals the same processed biscuit every day of their life, and that's supposedly that's supposedly meant to be balanced. And what they've done is they've brainwashed us into thinking it's all right for our pets, so that when they then start doing the same to us, we don't question it. It's absolutely horrendous. And Marie, isn't this brilliant? A lot of us have really woken up to our health. And wow, you are a star. You've lost 25 pounds since January. That is absolutely brilliant. You are an inspiration, Marie, to many. And you must be so proud of yourself for doing that and taking back responsibility for your health. You are completely inspirational. Honestly, I am applauding you. That is absolutely amazing. So yeah, the marketing for the dog food is absolutely horrendous, and it's not our fault though. It's really, really not our fault, because we have all been too busy to do this research. And I think what people are realizing now, I mean, I will put my hand up, I didn't ask a lot of questions about. My children luckily had quite a smooth ride of it through school, so I didn't ask the questions that I would now. Now I know what I know now. I'd be horrified if my children were still young enough to be in school. And, now they're adults, I can, advise them. And they are both really sensible and really amazing children. But hindsight's a wonderful thing. And now I look back in horror and think, my goodness, I would have done things very differently. But there's no point beating myself up about it. All I can do is try and then educate myself and pass on that information. But most importantly, children do what we do, not what we say. So there's no point me not taking responsibility for my own physical, emotional, spiritual health and then expecting them to do it for themselves. You can't be a hypocrite about this. I always joke and sort of say, I wouldn't go to a fat aerobics teacher. And I don't mean that nastily, but if someone is educating in a certain field, if someone's a fitness instructor, I expect them to look fit. Otherwise, why would I believe that they know what they're talking about? So look at this, Deanna, absolutely amazing. I'm learning to trust my inner guidance about my health. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, but it didn't resonate with me, so taking on the job myself. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. It would be the best thing you ever did, because, it's so important. You would not believe how many miracles I see happen every month on human and animal health just by going back to basics. One of my teachers said to me, if you go back to how your grandparents used to live and how they used to eat and feed themselves and feed their animals, then a lot of the problems disappear. And it is really, really, important. Zed, I do agree with you. Doctors do demand, there's some really good nurses, there's some really good doctors, there's some really good vets. We mustn't tar them all under the same brush. We really mustn't. Everyone's an individual. But, oh, look, we've got my lovely friend. Oh, well done. It's lovely to see you back, Skelfer. Yeah, we are lunatics. I'm a complete lunatic. So, yeah, and aren't these people lovely? We've already established that I'm a lunatic, so think of something different to say. So yeah, I think it's really, really important that we don't target everyone with the same brush, but equally, I think it's really important that we don't abstain from taking responsibility ourselves by saying, my doctor told me to do it, my teacher told me to do it, this person told me to do it. At the end of the day, you've got to decide. Once we're adults, we've got the joy of deciding for ourselves. Our children and our animals aren't so lucky, which is why I take that responsibility very, very seriously. Just looking at the other things. Oh, thank you for my son's graduation. It really, really was very from another Pam, another lunatic. It's so lovely to be with such a great bunch of lunatics. So yeah, I think we've got the message across. We're all going to take, all going to take responsibility for our own health. We're all going to, it's absolutely fine to ask questions, but just make sure we do our own and listen to our intuition as well. In the UK, in Europe, we're moving into the winter. You Aussies are coming out of winter. America, I think you're so big. I'm sure you've got loads of, loads of different, temperatures there. But I think it's really, really important at the moment. We really, really support our immune systems in whatever way resonates with you. I'm doing the whole lot. I'm doing my celery juice every morning. I'm drinking my CDS. I've never go anywhere without my CDS for me. My mum's on it. My children are on it. My animals are on it. My husband's on it, but he doesn't realise, so don't tell him. I just slip it in everything. So luckily he just drinks what I hand him. So yeah, I think, I'm taking my vitamins, really good quality vitamins. I'm detoxing with the thing. I'm using the Roots brands at the moment, which I really, really like. There's other ones that I really like as well. And so I think, lunatics unite. So I'm not taking anything to chance. I'm also saying, I'm also getting out in nature a lot. Obviously, I've got my animals. My day starts at 5 and ends at about midnight. So I'm lucky in that I've got so many animals to look out to. By the very nature, I'm in contact with the animals, which is incredibly healing. And I'm also out and about a lot. So you'll start to see me with very wet hair and covered in mud as the weather deteriorates. CDS, Mimi, it's chlorine dioxide solution. If you go to my website and look at the Dr. Andreas Kalka videos, there's 2 of them, you will understand what it is. And then if you're drawn to do it, if you go to the health products page of my website, you will see kits that you need to look at to make it. Plus also, really importantly, the Institute of Biophysics run an introductory course. So no, it's not CBD. Very, very different to CBD. Oh God, how do you? These people, honestly, some people have got nothing better to do with their time, haven't they? It's really hysterical. So do we think there's going to be an EBS? Do we think, who thinks on the chat that there's going to be an EBS? Personally, I'd love it, because I'd love some of my friends that do call me a lunatic to actually see that we're not as mad as they think we are. Do you know, 2 of my really oldest friends posting on Facebook this week about how they've been they've just had their booster and the flu shot at the same time, and that they're so proud because in their minds they are genuinely think that they're saving the world by doing so. And they're lovely people, and that's genuinely their level of awareness and what they're thinking. So you can see why they think I'm a complete lunatic. I thought years ago we should be eating what's on offer seasonably. Absolutely, so true. And this is why there's no such thing as a one size fits all. So if you're living in California, it's a very different experience to going through a damp winter in the UK, I can tell you. And I'm sure the people in Norway and Sweden will say it's different things. So because we all live in different circumstances, we've all got different inherited strengths and weaknesses, we have to look we have to look at what is, right for us. And we have to look at how we're feeling and how we're responding to it. So, I'm sick to death of people bashing vegans. I'm a vegan, and I'm really healthy. I've never touched wood. I've never felt healthier than I am now. I'm 53 years old, very nearly 54. I feel great most of the time, not all of the time. Someone was saying earlier, have they had a cold? I came down, I felt terrible on Monday, and I was thinking, oh no, it's a really important day. I'm going to my son's graduation. 3 of the people traveling with us were in their 80s. I knew they wouldn't want to get in a car with me if I was showing symptoms of anything. I took my supplements and everything. 24 hours later, I was like a different person. So yeah, there's a lot going around, and eating seasonally and locally is a big, important part of that. And yeah, I think that's a really spicy game. I love some of the names you've got. They're fantastic. And I think it is true. We've all got to use discernment about who we talk to and who we don't, because we've got to remember, in terms of, we have really got to remember that they think they're right, and their level of awareness and what they can see, they think we're the mad ones. So, you know, it's important to realize that. Magnet, no, of course I don't force my animals to be vegan. I've got dogs and cats. My guinea pigs are obviously vegan, and my horses are obviously vegan, because they herbivores and guinea pigs don't eat meat products. But my dogs and cats do, and I make a lot of effort, and all my money goes on food and healthcare products for my 2- and 4-legged family. We don't go on holidays. We don't have, as you can see, I don't have new clothes. I don't spend money on things like that. I spend the money on health. So yeah, I don't force them to be vegan. I think that would be terrible. But I do make an effort for making sure that any meat that I buy for my dogs and cats and the foxes that come to me at night, that I buy it from as ethically sourced things. I'm not going to get into the argument. In my view, there's no such thing as a humane slaughterhouse, but I do the best I can by the fact that I'm living in England and I'm not in the middle of, you know, an Indian on the plains that has got a bow and arrow and can hunt my own prey for them, unfortunately, although I'm sure I've been that in a previous life. It's not too late for your 19-year-old cat. One, good for you. Well done you for having a 19-year-old cat. It's not too late, but what we always recommend, and the course covers this, if you've got an older or a cat or a dog with health issues, just go slow and change it slowly, because as you go slowly, the microbiome will change. It's never, ever too late, but just don't rush them, because we want the microbiome to change gradually so they cope with it really good. Bob's coming out with some absolutely amazing things. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. I always say I'm going to keep it to half an hour, and I never do, but I just love all the interaction for you. I just love it, love it, love it. So please, 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 you know, look after each other. Let's all try and be empathetic, although it's quite a challenge at times. You know, let's try and share the good information, and let's really just be here for each other next week. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I really do mean that from my bottom of the heart. I really appreciate you, Andrea. Thank you so much for being on the chat and helping me. I appreciate every single one of you that's really opening yourself up, and we're all dropping our ego and saying, I'm prepared to be wrong. I mean, I think every single one of us on this chat would love to be wrong about this, because we've all got loved ones affected. And let's just keep learning, keep moving the world forward in the way we want it to do, keep hugging those animals, and keep being the best versions of humans that we can. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week. And thank you so much to everyone in the chat. We really, really appreciate you. Oh, a couple of questions. Everyone's saying, how do they get to ask me questions for Janine? Underneath all my videos on my Linktree and things is my email address. If you can email the questions, because I can't always pick them up under the videos, I'll just put it under here. So if you want questions for that, I can't ask every single question. But I do ask as many as I can. I collate them all. I look at every single one. So, yeah, email me if you've got questions, and I will do my best. Thank you, everyone. Lots of love. See you next week. Bye.